Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this Friday morning. We've got an exciting show lined up. Be giving away some seafood and getting ready for a great weekend in the outdoors. But let's take a look at our weather. We're looking at a high today of 77, low of 58. Great weather. The water temperature, I'm going to check on it. Gail wrote it down that it was back up to 75, but it just can't be. But because it was down a couple of degrees yesterday, I got a little bit excited about it. And now it's back up there, so we'll check it out. But anyway, it might be one of those currents we always blame it on. Our river reading is brought to us by Mountain Dew. Get out and do. And we surely plan on doing that next couple of days. We're going to be telling you our schedule. It's going to be exciting Thanksgiving week coming up. The Apalachicola Bluntstown is reading right now at a 7.3. Got a little bit of a drop. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. The Choctaw at Caryville is reading right now 4.5. So both rivers, like I said yesterday, are in great shape for some good fishing. And you heard what Stan Kirkland said yesterday. He got up on Holmes Creek, and in 2 hours he had a nice mess of fish. And what's great about it, he hadn't fished there in years. In several years he hadn't fished Holmes Creek. So that shows what a true outdoorsman can do. You still have that desire to go and that experience to go and know when to go. And that's what Stan did. So I would encourage you, even though like I haven't fished on Tulogia Creek in a couple of years, but I bet I could go this weekend and catch a good mess of brim. So anyway, let's move on now. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. We're looking at good tides, low tides at 11:22 this morning, almost right in the middle of the day. So it's going out all afternoon. I'm sorry, it's coming in all afternoon. It's going to be high about 12:30, around right after midnight tonight. And our wind's going to be coming in variable, a little bit of northeast at 5, so, and it's looking good. In fact, you might want to tell the boss you want to work the lunch today and take off the rest of the afternoon, just get out in the woods or get on the water somewhere. And tell them Coach Chester on Panhandle Outdoors gave you permission to do that. I used to do that with my kids, go tell the principal they get out of school and go fishing, but it never did work. All right, we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Now, when I tell you those stories I'm not making that up. I did send, every now and then would send a kid up, a good kid they're all good kids, but a kid that would love to joke around or something with me or other teachers and all, and I'd send them up I said, go ask the principal I had a couple of different principals, if you can take off this afternoon and get excused to go fishing and come back and tell me what it says. And he would be real serious and go up there and say, Coach Chester said he would excuse me. Can I? But anyway, that's a true story. All right, move on now. We got pictures. Speaking of, here's a kid I would do this with right here, Harris Marshall. Here's a picture of Harris Marshall. He's fishing on his brother's boat. Now, this is a Marshall family here in Lynn Haven. Harris and Brand are brothers. Scott is their dad. Matt is their uncle. And here he is. I've showed these pictures before. You see this big old nice redfish. But here, look what he said. He took a break from boat building this morning to enjoy the sole purpose in building one in the first place. So he's building as a fishing boat. And so thanks, Brant, for letting me be the first to slime your new skiff. So I've been back and forth. I've been in touch with Harris, and he's been building a boat and taking his time doing it, doing a great job. And we're going to get up with him when he gets it finished and talk about the process. Good job, Harris Marshall. Moving on now. Here we go. Coming up next on a week from today on Black Friday. What a great way to spend a Black Friday on a bass tournament. Tyler Gingrich, the Real Tuesday Night Shootout, they're sponsoring this, a little tournament on Black Friday. And here it is right here. It's going to be at Deer Point, and it's $25, 100% payout. And you can you weigh in your single largest bass, no dead bass allowed. And it goes on down and says artificial lures only. Payout is one place winner. Winner takes all. So that's a good way to spend a Black Friday instead of going shopping all day. Here's Heather Taylor. Heather, our Taylor family, a good fisherman, but I'm getting more pictures of Heather than anyone. And this is, she caught 8 of these. Good job, Heather Taylor. And my buddy Alan Shepard, back to catfishing now. He's finished with the big tour and he's back home. How about a 26-pound flathead he caught the other night? And then, check this out, he caught a 37-pounder. Okay. And then this is laying, you see the size of it when laying next to the ice chest here. And then here's what was cool. He's fishing during the night, but then I stayed around for the morning bite, and it paid off. So he fished most of the night and stayed till the sun came up and fished in the morning. And that's a true outdoorsman there. He's holding up. On this picture here, look at the reels, the setup. This is what someone who's serious about catfishing. Look at the back of the boat there. You see three. He's got another one, so he's got it set up. Looks like one of these saltwater rigs fishing all these reels. But good job, Alan. And we keep saying we're going to get together and film a show and do some fishing. Bob Bilsma with a nice buck, and the secret of this trip, like he told me, was that Panhandle Outdoors cap he has on right there. Good job, Bob. He's got one tag down. Thomas Halls, he goes up to Kentucky every year. His sweet wife, Casey Basford Halls, that's Travis's sister. She's married to Thomas. She sent these pictures here, and but look at the size of that. And isn't that a huge? He gets a big buck almost every year at that same area in Kentucky. It's right across the Tennessee border. I know about where it's at, and he has some land up there. He leases some land, and it says some rough country, but these big bucks just stay hid in there, and that's how he's so successful with it. Okay, Gail didn't want to put this. This is Gail on a dove hunt with me last weekend. Okay, that's one of our good pictures. All right, here, let me read this right here. Coach Chester, last Friday on your program, it was really good to see Captain Roy Ray. He is truly a speckled trout fishing legend. He drew my name for a red snapper from Tarpon Dock Seafood. The people there were so friendly and courteous. The fish was fresh and delicious, and we appreciate it. We watch your show daily and always enjoy it. Keep up the good work, keeping the public entertained and informed. James Haney from Parker. James, thank you so much. We really do appreciate that. One more email right here. This is Dave Borges. Hey, Winston, I enjoyed your show on eagles. I got a lot of comments on that little video. I enjoyed your show on eagles. Eagles lay 1 to 3 eggs. We have 1,500 nesting pairs in Florida, so if they average one survivor per nest, the population must be rising, around 1,500 per year? It's just a thought. I got to thinking about that. So if you get 1,500 a year, and in the 10-year span, that's 15,000 on paper. Now, there's a lot of variables to that, but that's why I think we slowly see them increasing like this. And when they come in your tree on the edge of a yard like they did the other day, and we'll get it documented, we haven't been able to do that over in the years past and all this. It's something to that about them increasing. And I did get a lot of comments on it. In fact, I want to mention Franklin Harrison's name. He's a school board attorney, and I was at a meeting the other day, and he called me over. What is it, the day that we showed the eagles? He said, I sure enjoyed that eagle video. He said, I'll call my wife in and look at it. So many people enjoyed that. So thank y'all. And that's just real things happening here in the Panhandle. Okay, so let's go ahead and take our break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I want to say good morning to Freddie Watkins. Freddie, originally from Port St. Joe. I got to see him the other night, and he part of the Wood fishing family, and they're well known down in Gulf County. And he watches the show every morning. We appreciate it, Freddie. Good talking to you, and the heritage in different counties and all throughout the Panhandle, these old families that started, making a living off fishing and boat building. It just always intrigues me, and I always enjoy meeting folks from that lineage. So anyway, good morning. Also, got an announcement, Cargray Park, the boat ramp down there. We did a good video on it about a month ago. Well, Scott Lindsay called me, and he said, you got to tell the folks they've got to be careful getting in and out. And I said, what? I said, a nice ramp like that. he said, what has happened? And we've talked about it before, and Greg's aware of it, and other people are aware of it. The hydraulics of the system, of the sand is sort of washed in the channel. And he said a buddy had to call, get a four-wheel drive to help get his boat out. So be aware, even if you get past the ramp, the sandbar is sort of filling up out there. So they're going to have to get it dredged, but they're having, I think, you got to go through all a permitting process, and I know they're on top of it. It's the county and the city combined, but just be aware, especially if you're going up this next weekend or so during the holidays, if you plan on using coil grade ramp, with a big boat, you may have a challenge. And I think the smaller boats are going to be okay, especially if you've got something like a trolling boat or something. Just be aware of that, okay? Now, we get all kind of correspondence, and I appreciate it, like I've said before, and I wanted to read you this one, okay? This is a message, and the person asked to be anonymous, so we'll keep him anonymous. And I just want to share this. Winston, are you still having hunters hunting your property lines? That was interesting to me because that was, a good while back, and when I showed the video of remember the deer, the deer stands right on the edge of my property, like 3 or 4 times around my little 40 acres up there around Alpha, and it was almost humorous, but it made you mad because they're right there on the edge of your property. It's just ethically, that's just not what outdoorsmen, good folks do. But anyway, and he remembered that. So anyway, he goes on to say, I had 4 good bucks come into my food plot. I've been watching them for the last 3 or 4 months. So you can imagine the anticipation of watching them and looking and hoping you're going to get a shot at them. Okay, so anyway, until a bow hunter set a climber right on my property line. Okay, my hunting stand is about 50 yards from the line, which is a good, decent, got your property line, you're about 50 yards inside of it. That's really the way you should do it. So my hunting stand is about 50 yards from the line, so I know he hears my feeder going off. And, people can do that. When that feeder goes off, you hear it. And so, long story short, I haven't seen my deer anymore. He's got about 800 acres to hunt on. Maybe you could spend a few minutes on your show on being a good ethical hunter. I enjoy your show, and please don't use my name. So, and that is so true. Here's a hunter that spends all his time and money planning his food plot, getting things set up, buying the corn, and getting everything set up well inside of your property line, and everything is set. And then here comes another hunter over here, and he's walking down the property line, and he hears the feeder goes off. He sees, and you should never set up a deer stand right on a property line unless you have permission. Now, if you have permission, that's different. But when you got everybody hunting different places, it's just not a good thing to do. And so I would encourage you. And the same way we talk about it, the same way with fishing. You're out there fishing, and somebody gets close to you. Remember the video I had a little while back? One of my viewers, he almost got mad about it watching it. He called me up after the show. But anyway, when somebody comes on top of you and starts fishing, that just puts a sick feeling in your stomach. You don't do that. And we used to, here's another thing I thought about too, in scalloping. Remember when we first started doing the show on scalloping, I'd say, ethically stay a football field length away. Well, that's out the window now. There's nobody doing that because why? Because so many people are scalloping now. I mean, they're gonna come right up next to you, and I mean, you can see the color of their eyes. They're so close to you now. So I hate it that it happened like that, but that's the truth as far as scalloping part. But still, you got a big open lake or something, and you don't need to get on top of each other. And also on the bait system, when you're sight fishing and going along the bait shoreline, don't cut in front of somebody. You can tell when somebody, and if you're a fisherman, you can tell when somebody just sort of going down that shoreline. You need to get behind them. And I hear complaints about captains doing it. I hear complaints from the captains about other people doing it. So I hear it on both sides. So, and that's aggravating. So don't do that. Okay. Now let's move on. I've got pictures of bears to show you. I know you shouldn't feed corn, but we started out with corn, and I'm going to have to switch over because the bears have gotten so bad up at my granddad's place. So I've got a series. They'll get up. It's the pattern they have is so typical as far as, the deer's going to come in early and eat, and then all of a sudden here comes the bears. When the bears get there, everything clears out. And right now, as I can count, well, I've got 3 bears, and I've been studying them. They're smart. And then I started thinking about, well, in the circus, you got these trained bears. But these bears, they'll know, they're already figured out, and I've got pictures of them, walking around, and they'll almost sit there and wait for the feeder, literally lay down there and wait for the feeder to go off. And then to get up, and then I actually got a picture, I don't know if I can find it now to show you, but actually they're already starting to reach up, trying to get to the feeder. I mean, standing up, broad, or just standing up. And you think, this is an animal, and how in the world they get so smart in figuring this stuff out. And so last night, I'm going to look up some research on how smart are bears. I found, listen to this now, considered by many wildlife biologists to be one of the most intelligent land animals in North America. Bears possess the largest and most convoluted brains relative to their size of any mammal on Earth. So you think about that head and body size, that is a big brain, okay? And their intelligence compares to that of any higher primates, which would be the monkeys and those, all those, they're just above those. So, it went on to say, I read about a study that had 3 bears, and this study came out of Mobile, the zoo in Mobile, and they did all kind of studies with the bears over there, and they just found them to be really, really smart. So anyway, I don't have time. I may finish it up next week as far as what they're capable of. Their navigation skills are comparable to human navigational skills. In other words, they know where north and south and those kind of things are. Anyway, I'm going to talk more about the bears. They're something else. Let's get our drawing going real quick. Okay, $20. Let's go Los Angeles first, and the winner is all the way from Sneed's, Mary Lou Scott. Okay, the $20 gift certificate at Tarpon and Dock is going to be Terry Sidney. All right, Terry. And the big red snapper is going to be from Westville, Mary Cruz. All right, let's take our break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers out of Port St. Joe. 3:29 to 5:29 this morning, right now. And what about 3:55 to 5:55 this evening? Let's take a look real quick at our famous Friday fishing forecast. We're getting ready for the weekend, getting ready for a big week next week, and Thanksgiving week. A lot of folks have a lot of time off. And over the years, I've become what I call I do a hybrid holidays. In other words, I fish and hunt during a holiday like this. So I've got a Georgia deer hunt coming up. We're going to take care of that. We're going to have Bill and Greg and I are going to try to hit Apalachicola Bay one day next week, and then we've got the Thanksgiving. So I've got all kind of exciting things coming up. So, but here's. Real quick, let's talk about the trout bite. The trout bite is really strong. You heard Captain Roy last week with the water temperature going down. Remember what he said? Get into the mouth of the creek, because that's when they're going to start congregating to getting ready to go up into the creek. So that's something of importance there. Intercoastal waterway. He didn't fish it much, but his nephew fishes it, and the pattern this time of year, the intercoastal waterway is really good. Coming in from Choctawhatchee Bay or from West Bay, coming into that area, and also down there as it comes into Apalachicola Bay. So I have that written down. The temperature is just cooling off. Let's talk about surf fishing. That's something else I plan to do next week. I'm going to try to do some surf fishing down at Cape San Blas, and I really think there's going to be some good surf fishing coming up. And we're going to use our fish bites, and I don't know if I'm going to find it. If I find it in San Feliz, I may put 1 or 2 on, but I'm just going to, Gail and I are going to get out on the beach and do some serious surf fishing. In other words, we're going to sit down and talk and have a great time. Pier fishing. Thanksgiving is always a great time to get out on the pier. Pier fishing should be pretty decent. Some white trout should be working. The flounder made their way out. Most of the flounder are making their way out. You still can go flounder gigging. In fact, if you've got a night next week we have off, flounder gigging would be good, but you want to get up there towards Shell Island, locally. Over in Choctawhatchee, you want to get up around the jetties at Destin as you're going out. They're getting some flounders there over on the government property side. So that's a good place. And then really walking along the beach this time of year is not a bad way to get flounder. You got a north wind, and if the beach, the water's really clear. That's something I noticed the other day, how clear the water is in the bay and also in the Gulf. So if you can, a lot of people now getting these walking stick or walking lights, and just sticking them there along the shoreline there. Freshwater, you got the bass tournament coming up next week. Bass fishing is going to be good. We haven't had a lot of rain. We got good clear water. Lake Seminole should be hot. That's the biggest thing about the holidays is trying to figure out, am I going to go fishing for bass? I'm going to go fishing for catfish. I'm going to go fishing for redfish, or I'm going to go in the woods. So it's a dilemma, a great dilemma to have. Hybrid holidays ahead. So we're going to do some hunting and fishing. Getting back to the speckled trout, that's going to be one of the biggest targets. The speckled trout. They're going to be, if you're fishing from the bridge and all, you're still going to be able to catch speckled trout. But you want to get on the lower end of the bridges and fish toward the shallow part. Don't fish deep. Fishing for flounder is going to be good. Mullet, throw in your cast net. People love having mullet during the holidays to go along with that turkey and all. So we'll be back next week though with a couple of days and get ready for more Thanksgiving stuff and some other ideas on where to go. So anyway, we're going to start wrapping things up. One of the things I wanted to mention too is always be careful. We had that little four-wheeler accident there with a tragedy in Jackson County. Y'all just really be careful. Get the kids to be careful on that in the outdoors, and you just never know. So, and also get ready to enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, and be safe, and keep your social distancing and be safe as you can. So anyway, we're gonna wrap it up for the week. Had a good week, and next week's gonna be another good week. And do something good today for your fellow man. You have a great day, have a great weekend, and enjoy the outdoors. And God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.